Alabama Dougie. Dude name Dougie Doug.
Hey Young.
Sanka.
Hey Young.
Hey,
Oh, that's
man.
Okay, that was good. Dougie Doug.
Dougie Doug.
I like how he waited to the recording to start to beat it.
Yeah, bro.
I was just gonna play with my phone.
I didn't get that motherfucker off.
All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here. We are virtual this week. You're tuned into
The MSR Podcast.
The MSR Podcast, but virtual, so that means Nargis is in the building. Welcome back, Nargis. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
I missed y'all.
Very
It's
good
been
to
a
have you
minute.
on.
Literal weeks. Thank
Yeah,
you. Y'all been
literal
doing
week.
great though. I've been enjoying being like a content receiver.
You know what?
Us
We
being in
appreciate
spirit.
that.
We
They're
do.
in spirit every time, though, for sure. They're in spirit every
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
My man.
Oh, like when y'all be joning on me.
No,
Yeah,
no,
well,
no,
you
that
know,
wasn't a joke.
we-
That's just telling stories, Nargis. That was a
man,
storytelling. I mean, but that's how that's how you sound.
That is my voice. But
No,
Ask
that's
yourself that. I
literally
can't answer that.
yeah, that's literally how you sound. Like this
You gotta have a conversation with yourself.
yeah, you got to look in the mirror
Yeah.
on that one. Yeah.
Can't answer that.
You got to look in the mirror when you hear your voice.
Yeah, that's you.
oh
That's
man.
just you. Young. But if
No,
I was,
I received-
I don't know.
Show you how you
I
were
don't
like,
know. I don't know if you necessarily put your hands up like that. The way
No,
Adam.
no,
Hold on. Do Young again, Adam. Do one more time. How she go?
Young. Young, let me tell you. Let me tell you why I'm doing that. Let me tell you why I'm doing that.
Hey,
Because I promise I wish I could find that
I'm
video.
trying my best not to say it.
I heard you, brother. I heard you, dog. I heard that one.
Got her
When you were in
sounding
the
like Louis
woods,
Anderson
see
out
what was
there, so-
happening was, by the way, Brother Smooth was in the building. You just heard him. LT is in the building.
Oh, that's fucked up.
When you were, hey man, you don't get a good intro. You keep joking. when you were in the woods, when she was in the woods, I wish I could find the video, but she was trying to creep.
And the bear.
She was.
And the
Because
bear.
we saw a bear.
She was.
And
And so
the
she was being
When she's
smart.
on the-
because, she was trying to but she was like, yo, I see
Good
a bear, yo.
Hey, yeah. Hey,
Hey,
hold on.
I stand in
nah, hey,
I just
look.
want to say that her video also matched. There's a bear somewhere in the woods that was making a video at the same time. Like, hey, Young.
Yeah, right. I see a Nargis. I think it's a
You ran this
Nargis.
woman.
I think it's a
She's
Nargis
like,
right here.
Nah,
Somewhere in
bruh.
the bear
I
community in
fled.
the video floating.
I fled for my life. And then when I got tired, I was like, dang. And I got up on a rock and I was like, I just got to stay on the
He's like-
swivel in case it's
You
like
was
a
by
horde of
yourself.
bears.
I was fishing for
That's
salmon
crazy.
and she rode up on me.
And that was in Georgia.
salmon.
Nah.
Where
I
was
was
it?
in I was out Massachusetts.
Coke.
Right.
Let's
I'm
let's
sorry.
just let's stay
a
on this
terrible
just for a
intro.
moment. No, the intro's no. This intro's great. Let's deal with this just for a second. Cause I realize we're talking about something, and if the intro was bad for any reason, because the audience is like, well, why was she in Massanutten and why is there a bear and why was she? So what were you doing?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She was looking for bears.
Why the fuck were you? Nah, so like, so I had a homegirl, her family does timeshares in Massanutten. So
Nice.
I had a little suite to myself
Nice.
Thanksgiving weekend. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna explore. You know, I like nature. So I was hiking. And one of the trails had a waterfall at the end of it. So I was chasing waterfall.
Let's go.
Wow,
Wait. Not listening to
Say that
TLC. You should have listened to
Say that
TLC.
again. Yeah, I'm about to say that again, but
Yes.
But
Say
think-
that one more time, please.
I don't want to.
too late now. You already said
I'll
it.
say it.
Say it again.
She said she was in the woods and she saw a waterfall, so she
chasing
decided
waterfalls.
to chase.
No.
waterfall.
I looked at a
Okay.
map, and the map told me the end of that trail
Nargis
was
learned
gonna
nothing
be
from
a
TLC.
waterfall.
Yep.
Don't go
Okay.
chase.
So I said, cool, I'm going to go down the
Against
trail
the rivers
Against
and the lakes that-
TLC's advice.
till I get to a waterfall. And I was talking to my mom, and she was like, why are you out there by yourself? Because I was like, hey, I'm going to lose cell service probably.
Right.
And she was like, all right, you got something on you? And I was like, So in my mind, I'm looking for like Scary Mountain Man, right? Like I'm just trying to make sure that like Scary Mountain Man who lives out here can't get me. I'm not thinking about the animals.
Right.
So when I hit the bend and I seen like it was like, oh nah, like if it sprint back up the trail. But it was a steep trail. So I got like tired halfway through. And then I was like, all right, man, look, if I'm about to go out, the world about to see me go out.
Understood.
Out of curiosity, what made you run? What made your first instinct to run?
It was a large furry animal in my proximity.
It's bad.
So we went from large to you know what I mean, not Yogi, but what was the little nigga's name?
Boo Boo?
The little bear nigga.
I mean, it wasn't a squirrel Smooth. Like, it was something that was, like, larger than the average dog.
That was a cub.
That was furry, and it was in the woods. Bro, I could, honestly, it could have been a fucking German Shepherd in the woods. I'm running. Like, it's an animal.
Yeah, in the woods.
You know what I'm saying?
An animal without any milk.
Yeah.
That's large. Yeah, like, what you mean?
Unfamiliar animal.
Well, you and
All
I.
right. Look, so we got stuff to get to, so we're gonna have to put this to. And I do ask one favor though, just one, if you can, if it's in the cloud or still on the phone, if you can find that video, please, okay.
I might be able to look through my stuff and find it.
Facebook memory.
It's somewhere, bro.
This is the wild thing, though. None of my friends are real. Only one person actually called and was like, "Are you okay?" And it wasn't none of y'all.
It wasn't.
Nah, see,
it wasn't me. I don't remember. The thing is, I don't remember that at all. Yeah,
we saw that you were fine.
Yeah, there we go. All right, man. Listen, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listen, everybody that's been tuning in for the past, this is like week 7, I think we're on.
Yeah.
So like the past month or so, you guys are great. The numbers are doing really good. The reels are doing really well. So shouts out to everybody that's been very responsive to the reels and all of the stuff. Please keep that up. And in order to do that, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Interact with the page. That helps with the algorithm. If you're listening on podcast only, subscribe to the podcast. Okay, remember to rate and review the podcast. And remember to sign up for our Patreon. More content coming to the Patreon very, very soon. Follow us on all social media, MSR Tribe, and the MSR Pod on TikTok. Okay, we got a great show lined up for you all today. It's a heavy show, a lot of stuff to talk about this week. So we're going to jump into our first topic. LT, help us out, brother.
So we're going to start off on a little bit of a somber note. We're going to talk about the recent passing of Assata Shakur, also known as Joanne Chesmard. Please forgive me if I say it wrong. In the comments, correct me, but don't correct me too much. She was a member of the Black Panther Party and the Black Liberation Party, and she will be greatly missed, but let's talk about it.
Yeah, so Assata, I have a lot to say about, and I don't really want to go first, but I just want to kind of tee it up. I have a lot to say about what I feel like her life represents, and the celebration of her life at this time represents. And it's kind of ironic that we are again celebrating the life of a woman who had such a important and tumultuous and trying and spectacular life, and what she represents and represented, and what I think we could learn from her in the future and in the present. Like I said, I got a lot to say about that. It's not necessarily about Assata, but Nargis, I do want to jump to you. Just give us your thoughts on the life of Assata Shakur.
So I have to I got to shout my sister Hadra out, because she's the one who read her autobiography and was like, yo, I really think you would enjoy this. So it's like I knew of her, but I hadn't really, it's like, okay, yes, Black Panthers. So when I read it, I was like, wait, what? Wait. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Extraordinary life. And I think, because it's been well over 10 years, maybe well over 20, because I'm older now. But I think the biggest thing that stands out that I think kind of stands true today is like, I don't know if we're not built that way, you know? And I don't know if it's because, and when I say we're not built that way, there's I can't think of 5 people who I know who would sacrifice any degree of comfort in their life down to their own freedom or their own living breath for something bigger than themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about a movement that was the Black Panthers, they had their, they had their flaws. Nothing's
Mm-hmm.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about the volume of people who committed themselves,
Mm-hmm.
who lost their lives early, like a Fred Hampton,
Mm-hmm.
or someone who literally had to live in exile, like an Assata Shakur,
For the rest of her life.
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of your life,
Mm-hmm.
right? Shout out to Cuba for holding her down. Like, shout out to Cuba. But I can't help but be like grateful and also like in awe, right? It's kind of like a check for myself. Like, what would I? Is there a thing? Like, what type of constitution of a person does that take? You know? And what I really got from her autobiography was that a lot of it was like kind of self. Like, she had a dope family. She had a dope family structure. And it didn't seem like, this isn't like to like downplay her at all, but it's like her upbringing wasn't just so unique of the average person in her neighborhood. It was just something that she just very much felt connected with, and jumped in head, feet, body first, and was like, we bought this life.
Yeah.
Viva la revolucion, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just so grateful to her and to her story. And but I do think it is, there's just, history's not going to repeat itself in this instance.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. P, what's your thoughts on this?
With a few things that Nargis said, right? I'll begin with this. We had obviously in this country, things have been testy as of late with all the things that have happened political wise. Obviously, we know the larger thing with this guy's passing and all the political talk that's been going on, right? And I'll be transparent. Adam, you and I discussed how we discussed that matter, right? You remember the discussion that we had when we thought about everybody on our team. We thought about everything leading into how we would craft what we say and how what we say would be perceived, right?
And also, I think it's important to add to that, because this is important. I see where you're going. What did we do about what we actually said on the show, and that it was going to be coming out. Yeah, I think that's just important to throw in there. Yeah, go ahead.
So when Nargis talks about bravery, when Nargis talks about like understand, we thought about speech, like our speech, and we thought about its effect, and we wondered whether we should not be as brash or just be cognizant of things, right? And that's where we are in 2025. But to think about, firstly, Assata Shakur was the first female on the FBI's criminal most wanted list ever.
Yeah.
The greatness of both she and her boldness and the Black Liberation group and armies, the fact that, for whatever, I don't know whether I should say allegedly or whatever, but the facts remain, they broke her out. You understand what I'm saying? And honestly, even in the climate that we're in right now, just if I were to even speak on just the dopeness of that ideology, just the dopeness that we have people that actually stood up. And mind you, obviously we've all talked about violence. We've all talked about how we're not here to pander to that, right? But the thought process of someone, even what Nargis, something that Nargis brought to my attention about the fact that her upbringing was it wasn't like I'm in the streets and I'm so poor, and then I had to realize that I have to come and help my people. That was just the part that was in her heart to come and help do that. You know what I'm saying? And to help foster in a new generation of thought, and to even be the godmother of Tupac Shakur. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that there's this young lady, man, and I don't know what these young kids have with going on social media and shitting on political figures and shitting on people of old, just to, I don't know if it's for clickbait. I don't know what that whole situation is. And she was talking big crap about Assata Shakur and talking about the Black Panther Party, and the only thing that they ever contributed was WIC and all this other thing, which is a very stupid statement in and of itself, because that's still a wonderful program that's helping people to this day.
So she ain't know about the breakfast?
Bruh, I'm not even going to get Nargis, like those. Like I said, for those people, I really wish I could remember her name to really say her name and give her, donkey of my conversation. But
we don't want to trademark. Good job, buddy. Yeah.
That's funny.
But I'll just say, man, it's a great blueprint, and I'm going to have to get into that autobiography, because I would love to learn more about her life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Smooth, what's up, man? What's your thoughts on this?
Excuse me. For me, it's very dimensional, right? Because I can only imagine what she could be hearing or experiencing, what is happening in the United States while she's in Cuba, and she has to be quiet about that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that's I don't believe she just was like, all right, whatever, I'm over here and we're cooling. I don't believe that, so I can only imagine what that does to someone who does have such a love and appreciation for her people. And through all of the legislative changes throughout our history, she's had to experience that since like the 70s. There's been so many different changes. There's been so many different things. So seeing that from that lens, I mean, I can only imagine what that can do maybe to someone's psyche of, you're not being with your family, not being for the, I'm not saying she wasn't for the cause, but not being directly in the cause in that moment because she,
couldn't be.
had to do what she had to do. That's just the resilient not character, but that's just a resilient like person. Like her character is something that is needs to be, explored. And so, to be honest with you, Nargis, thank you also for presenting that book to me. You know what I mean? There's the Kathleen Weavers, and there's many different people who have their spaces in that party, and they have their story to tell. But I never really considered that, to be honest with you. So I'm definitely looking to that book. Can we talk about, the autobiography of Malcolm X? We talk about these other books, but we don't, excuse me, we don't talk about those sung but unsung heroes of the struggle in the the Black American struggle. So yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. LT, you got any thoughts on this, Ada?
I guess for me personally, it's like one of those things where, you've heard of her before, but I never really knew too much about her, you know what I'm saying, outside of her affiliation with, the Black Panther Party and the Black Liberation Party. And then obviously, that she had to leave the country.
Yeah.
But you know, I think each one of you have said something very poignant, and it speaks upon this lady and how I'm gonna say this: she was truly, you know, loved by people because again, Cuba sheltered her until her passing. You know, like she had $1 million bounty on her head, and nobody gave her up.
Yeah.
Like she was able to get out this
That's
country.
love.
Like
Yeah.
people, I guarantee you, somebody saw her was like, and then just like go that way, go that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, she was convicted of said crime, but it's also like, you know, just, you know, it sucks that that's something that happened, but it is one of those things where it's like during that time frame, like stuff like that was inevitable.
Yep.
You know
I
what
think
I'm saying? Like,
I think there's a beauty in that too, as it stands right now. The beauty in that in thought process, just because if we can all look right now, we can look at a bunch of people that should be in jail that aren't in jail.
yeah.
So so I'm all for I'm all for that the thought process that this happened in thought in quotation marks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fun.
I'm so glad you all, everybody said something that just echoes the larger point I wanted to make about her. Just a couple of facts really quick though. She was part of the BLA, the Black Liberation Army. In 1973, there was a gunfight that involved a New Jersey state police officer, resulting in the death of that state trooper. She maintained her innocence. She said she was wounded, and the arm that she would have shot with was wounded, was paralyzed. So, you know, all medical records basically said that she was innocent of this. And as you all mentioned, they broke her out of jail, and she had been harbored in Cuba for 4 decades. When I think about just today, the day we're recording, this is actually one of the rare situations where this show is going to be coming out like the next day. So all this is super relevant, right? I think about just today, at my job, I watched the Secretary of War or Secretary of Defense, whatever you want to call him. Whatever you choose, right?
Crazy.
Next, have sit up there and give a speech to all of the military commanders, basically, right? And his speech was silly. You cut beards, people fat, whatever. This is one of those situations where my brother Smooth would go, you got to pay attention to what's real and what's not, right? So what he said was not real, but what the president said was, which was he told military commanders that there's a war in Portland, there's a war in San Francisco, there's a war in Chicago. He sat in front of military men and women and used the words war against his own citizens. He literally said it. Go look it up. You don't want to take my word for it. Why I bring that up? Nargis says something so on point. Folks ain't about that life, right? And Smooth often references history. Whenever we get into one of these like political debates, Smooth always kind of reference history. And I'm always, you know, as much as we debate back and forth, I'm always glad you do that because I always find calm in history, right? So when I think about members of the Black Panther Party and I think about women like Assata Shakur and all these people, Fred Hampton, all these people we bring up, even the people that we learn about in school, to LT's point, you learn about Malcolm X a little bit, and you learn about Martin Luther King and his friends, essentially, right? But even all of these people that chose a way to fight in times that are very similar to the ones we're living in now. And I think that's very important to remember because right now it feels like we're living in hell. It does. All this stuff keeps happening. And it's like we living in hell. It's like everything's new. We never seen this before. What the hell? And then I got to remember that Assata lived through it. Malcolm got through, Malcolm braved it. These people braved it, right? And these people fought through it. And I think that her life, with all of the shit we dealing with, right? You open up the HUD website this morning, and literally, my wife sent me a link to the HUD website. I open it up, and it's literally radical leftists are going to be responsible for the government shutdown. It's like wild talk, and it's shocking But these people dealt with this, and these people stood tall to it. These people fought it.
Let's go.
Right. And so I think that that's very important to remember when we remember her life. You may not have known a lot about Assata Shakur. Narg just put you onto a great book, right? You may not have known, and I could understand that because no one learned about Assata Shakur in school.
Oh.
Maybe in the African American, studies class in college,
or
right?
Montessori school.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
And
maybe Dr. Sion was teaching us about, you know what I mean? Shouts to Dr. Sion.
Shout out to Dr. Sion.
Yeah, yeah, and or someone like that went out their way, right? But for the most part, you aren't going to learn about these people. So this is a great opportunity to learn about these people. I want to say one more thing before we move on. She also represents to me a massive failure, one of the massive failures of this country. And I'm not one of these rats. I love being an American, right? And I don't think I have to explain that any further, right? Like, I believe you fight for what you love, and that's why we get so passionate about issues that are going on here, because I mean, it's obvious, right? And even someone I respect, a president that I respect and wish could be president right now, President Obama, put her on the most wanted list, 2013. His FBI did that, right? And so she is just a mirror. She's just a mirror to this country and to us in so many ways, in the ways that I explained, and the ways I just said, like to the negatives and to the positives, right? The positive is that American fight, that African American spirit of fight. The flaws are, here is a woman who was innocent by all evidence. You still convicted her, and she still had to be broken out of jail and hide in Cuba to the day she died. And I pray that somehow, some way, we learn that lesson and we get better moving forward. I'm not sure we will, but I pray we do. And that's just my thought on Assata, man. Rest in peace.
Rest in power.
Yes, indeed.
Can
Rest
I
in
add
power. Yes, you may.
Just
yes,
so you know, it's not too late for us, but like I said, we're a little complacent. I got a lot of thoughts about millennials, but I'm praying that with her death comes that resurgence with accessibility to current college students, with high school students. Hopefully there are some equally compelling positive TikToks that can kind of take you through that. I mean, we've seen it, right? We've seen things that we witnessed in the news 20 years ago start to galvanize again because of TikTok, because it's trending. And I'm praying that in her death, that legacy kind of invigorates and ignites that next generation, and really kind of drives home again. Shout out to Actively Black
all day
for their awesome fashion show, because
love it.
I just want her very recent death to serve as another reminder that history is still very much living and going on currently, right? There are political prisoners actively. Shout out to Imam Jamil, free Imam Jamil, who have literally been locked up for 30, 40 years from stuff I don't know how many presidencies ago, right? For stuff that they would be pardoned from or would have been able to be exonerated by, or like for now, right? So I'm just praying that there is, like, with this hardship of losing her comes ease for future generations to learn, to grow, to be motivated, to be ignited, to really like find a purpose. Not to say that they don't, but it's like, I just want this to kind of really hit home for them. And I'm hoping that she can trend, and her legacy can kind of start to trend, and the Black Panther legacy can start to trend in a positive way to inspire and motivate these youngins, in the world that we want our kids to grow up in and our grandkids to grow up in. So
100.
Rest in power to her.
100.
There it is.
I just want to say, I think all those things are absolutely on point. My only fear is that these important figures start to become like characterized, right? Or you know what I mean? And the true passion, the true beauty in what they were writing and their philosophy can somehow be bastardized because of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been one of my fears of us telling younger people to listen to these individuals from generations before us, because I think emotionally we're just different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm concerned that there's some people that will internalize certain things and not be reading the room at the same time
Like
and actually
Planet of the
do more.
Apes.
Which one?
Did you see the most recent one?
Well,
No, I'm
it's
serious.
like,
It's gonna sound like a joke, but I'm so
no,
serious. Like when they
I
was on
mean,
some Hail
I mean,
Caesar, like when they
Right.
bastardized Caesar, and then they was out
Yeah.
here like, that's what you're saying. Like you kind of manipulate the
Like
teachings
you
for
turn the
your
person like a
own.
minor.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Like
and I and I
like what's
think
happening with
that
you know who.
Exactly.
right, and I think
Yeah.
that tarnishes legacy sometimes, right?
You're
Because
right.
people's names get attached to things that they shouldn't be attached to.
I mean, Dr. King and then that poor man. I said that to my
Yeah.
coworker today. I was like, if they don't
Yeah.
let this man rest in peace and
Yeah,
stop
man. He's been
stop
Like,
That's
making
what I'm
him a
saying.
commodity.
I mean,
Yeah.
and that goes back to like the Boondocks commercial. I mean, not commercial, but the Boondocks episode when he was like, "You niggas," you know what I mean? Like,
I should be getting
I,
paid for that. I should really
right.
be getting paid for that.
I understand that concern, and it is something to think about. But I think that that the ideology and the thought process and what Nargis was talking about is still something to be championed and to be pushed. I mean, like in any and everything, those things can come up. Like I said, the man that they're uplifting right now vilified Dr. King. You understand what I'm saying? But I think that what she was talking about is very important, because that like a theology and ideology is already being shaped and it's already being pushed to kids, like literally. They're trying to have a required educational information of this guy, like in schools. You understand what I'm saying? So like having an ideology and having push and to learn about things that need to be learned, I think is still overtly important. And if some people bastardize that, that's just the way that it goes, because it's being done, period.
You said something earlier.
I agree.
Yeah. I just want to add, and this isn't a debate. I'm not debating.
Yeah.
Like, because I think you understand. But I think it's important to say this, because Paul mentioned earlier some of the back and forth, and we didn't even really talk to y'all about this. Hey, this is real. Like we did a show, we talked about you know who, we said some things, and we were, because right after that, and this was actually before Jimmy Kimmel, a couple of people on the timeline were being doxxed. Okay. And so we were, not to sound like heroes or nothing, we were less concerned about ourselves and more concerned about people we love and that. And then the Jimmy Kimmel thing happened, and it was kind of like, yo, well, how far does this go? Like at some point, platforms like these are important for what you're talking about, Smooth, right? If we continue to talk about people like Assata Shakur and people that are out there and spotlighting people that are fighting the good fight, some people that don't want to be on camera, but like carrying on their message, right? Kariga Bailey. I think about Kariga. P, you know what I'm about to say about this. Shout out to Kariga, right? Hope you
Shout out
get
to
you. I'm trying to
Kariga.
get
All day.
we're trying to get, by the way, Kariga,
And
I've
the
been
whole
trying to
fam.
get you. Shouts to the whole fam. By the way, Kariga, I've been trying to get you on one of these shows for years. You said yes to me like 9 times. At some point, we got to land it. Okay. And I'm talking way back from the original. Okay. Some point, brother. Let's make it happen. But anyway, I remember when I first met Kariga at, what's the spot you used to work at, Nargis? DYRS?
Yeah, at the Achievement Center.
Okay. Anyway, we were doing an event. And this is why I met Kariga. And I'm going to wrap it up here. I just remember Kariga, it was Kariga on the panel. It was myself, Paul, a couple other people. And there was just one brother that were like
Duck,
going to like.
Duck was there, right?
Duck was on the panel. And there was just one dude, either he was on the panel or he was in the audience, one of the two. This dude that would like literally go into like Simple City or like for people that are these like in the hood and like negotiate
Gang
peace
turns
between,
towards. Yep.
right, like this dude. And I remember feeling like, damn, this dude be like, he like Bowdy, he going in the trenches, and will I do that? You know what I'm saying? And I remember Kariga was like, everybody got a part to play. And he was like, y'all are the mouths. Y'all are the people that spread the message, right? So to your point, Smooth, yes, if we allow, it could go both ways. You could allow her legacy to get nerfed, for lack of a better term, where you soften her and make her into like, you know, like they do Dr. King, sadly, or Harriet Tubman or whoever, right? Or it can become ultra radicalized where people only remember she was in a shootout. She was in and then now you're not really carrying on. And that actually happened to the Black Panther Party. Not to go into a long history, but just know the Bloods and Crips come from the Black Panther, like offshoots of the Black Panther Party in lack of leadership. That's a very, you know, it's way more detailed than that, obviously, but just know that things can get radicalized without proper education, proper leadership. So I'm saying that talking about her and talking about people like her and continuing to use our voice no matter what without fear will help eliminate people taking her legacy and running with it in the wrong way, whether that be nerfing her or just totally over radicalizing her and making it dangerous. So that's just my thoughts on that.
100.
All right. Cool.
Thank you, Assata.
Now let's jump to our new segment, LT. What we got going?
New segment's called Question of the Day. Now, today's question: do you still listen to R. Kelly in your house?
Oh Lord. Okay, can I get some background on why we're talking about this? Okay, just a little bit of background. We have a group chat, right, where we throw around ideas and we just bullshit and laugh or whatever, right? It's stupid. We throw around ideas, you know, whatever, right? And the subject came up, right? Yeah, we talk too much, and yeah.
Just shut the fuck up.
Mute niggas
Whatever,
sometimes.
nigga.
It's mainly Smooth,
Roddy.
by the way. It's mainly Smooth
Talking to himself.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times he texted back
I
to
make
back and no
and that's and that's in
We'll be like,
in the
hey
words
y'all,
of
I
Dame
took a
Dash,
walk. I
I'm
felt good
triggered
today.
because I'm
Literally
triggered
all day.
because
Go for it.
I'm like, yo, I know you niggas hear me talking.
Smooth, you be throwing way too many darts at the wall, my guy. Like, let somebody else throw a dart. This man be like, yeah, let's do something about chicken. Wait. Let's do something about fish. No.
I'm like, yo,
let's
let's
do something about beef.
I'm like, yo, this has some legs to it. Let's talk about it. And it'd be crickets. I'm like, all right, fuck it.
The nigga talked so much in the group chat earlier today.
We don't know what
Right.
you're proposing.
No. I gotta say it. He said so much stuff and then ended it with, damn, we said a lot. What's the topic?
Right.
No, nigga, that was today. That was
I said
Yeah, that's funny.
Right.
Hey, I love you, brother.
Damn, we said a lot.
Yeah,
Yo, dog.
we said a lot. Nigga, you said a lot. Anyway, but we love you.
No,
but please
nigga,
keep
we
doing
was
it.
talking a lot. And you was talking shit. You was being a
I
hater.
was.
And
I
all
was.
these things was happening. And you say you was?
I was being a hater. I admit it. Anyway, the subject of R. Kelly came up, and whether you still keep him on the playlist, and then obviously other artists came up. We will get to those artists in a moment. I'll jump it off though. I'll start off by saying,
Hey, yo.
hey, I knew you was going to do that. Anyway, I'll start it off by saying,
Grow up, gentlemen.
we do not listen to R. Kelly in this house at all. Like at all. And I'm not saying me personally, I'm not trying to brag. Like, we just don't. It's something about, now I'm going to contradict myself later. Quite a few artists, okay? I'm going to keep it a buck. But it's something about that particular artist and that documentary, that docuseries. And I want to give you all just a little background too, just real fast. It's not going to take a long time at all, actually. I used to work for a publication. Well, I used to work for BuzzFeed. Everybody knows I used to work for BuzzFeed. And that documentary was sparked that documentary off was an investigative report that one of the reporters I worked with published. That's what actually launched the docuseries. She, I forget her name, but she was the one that exposed, because at the time, R. Kelly, we just kind of remember him for the tape. And maybe he was freaking, you know, we all kind of had in our mind that something was up with R. Kelly, but we hadn't heard like heinous shit like kidnapping and all of the wild stuff that came out that a lot of the world learned about in that documentary. But I just because it was floating around the office, a lot of us were privy to like that information before that series came out, and then watching the series with my wife just like hammered it more. So we don't personally listen to R. Kelly in this house, but I probably do listen to other artists that are maybe not as problematic, but you know, pretty damn close. P, you listen to R. Kelly?
Not in the least bit, bro. Not at all. I can't like,
you a decent man.
Obviously, I mean, I can admit to my hypocrisies in other areas, but I will say this: there, you know, R. Kelly's situation, in my personal opinion, is very unique. And like, in truth, all of the things that have come out with him, aside from him calling himself the Pied Piper of R&B, aside from when I look at anytime, Clarence, shut the fuck up. Anytime.
Mute this nigga. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Anytime I have Pandora on, right? And let's say I'm listening to Jasmine Sullivan, or I'm listening to something of the sort, and Aaliyah comes up, and like maybe like back and forth of one song or something comes up, but then the album. So I have to look at it. Then I look at R. Kelly's creepy ass over there in the corner of the album, like leaned down, looking up, and I got to look at age ain't nothing but a number. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too much. It's too much. Like, so for me, like R. Kelly gets no bump because in truth, he like, the thought of his actions repulse me, and I have, you know, close personal things in my family of things that just trigger me in general. So now R. Kelly gets no bump with me in the least bit.
You could look at Smooth's face though. Like, look at his reactions. It's just hilarious. We're gonna save him for last.
Yeah.
He goes last. Darkest, do you listen to R. Kelly in your household?
Yeah, I have a longer commentary, but I'll just say I don't seek out R. Kelly, but if it comes on, I'm not turning it off. If I feel like singing along, I'm gonna sing along.
Word. Okay, that's that.
No, it's more, but I thought we were saving like our overall argument for later.
I know that my man over there, he got the creepiest creep face, so I know
like
he's
completely
gonna have a lot. I would like for you to go and elaborate a bit more while you can.
Okay, so I think that, because I remember this came up because it was the Diddy conversation, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, now even though he's innocent, how do we feel? Are we playing Day 26? Are we playing Danny Kane? Can we listen to Biggie anymore? But it's like, can we even listen to Biggie? Can we listen to Junior Mafia? Is if he's ad-libbing? We don't, how can we listen to Cassie without, like, all the conversation. And then it's like, okay, it brings the R. Kelly back up. Like, okay, y'all blocking Diddy like y'all blocking R. Kelly. I feel like, and this is me without having any type of psychological degree at all, we are punishing everything associated with R. Kelly because we're mad at ourselves for not picking up all the damn, like, they're not even Easter eggs. Like, he literally was hanging neon signs in front of us.
Yeah.
And niggas was jamming.
Yeah.
So I don't view R. Kelly any differently than I view Chris Brown. I don't view him any differently than I view Chuck Berry or Rick James or KC or any of the other dirty niggas in the industry. I don't view him any different than Mike Tyson, who's actually a convicted rapist.
Yeah.
But I watched Tyson when he fought
Jake Paul.
And I've shared some stuff he said on, you know, his podcast, because he be saying shit sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't feel, and maybe that's something that I need to work on within myself. But my thing is like, I don't think it's supporting the person or the actions that they do because I'm singing some lyrics. I don't, for me.
Yeah.
I think that as a society, especially with Black people, we get real selectively indignant instead of having an SOP for how we view grimy shit. So until we come up with that collectively, then I'm going to step in the name of love. If it comes on. The same way that Breezy's selling out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Breezy has been, we know he beat the shit out of Rihanna.
I don't fuck with Chris Brown.
I'm just saying, we know he beat the shit out of Rihanna, right?
Yeah.
It's a whole documentary that came out on HBO about all the other stuff that, you know, has secretly gone away, right? We know we know something going on there. What the why behind it, right? The same way the why behind the R. Kelly and all that other stuff really doesn't matter. We know niggas in our personal lives, it was like something going on there. But we not canceling them.
Right.
So it's like, I'm not about to be made to feel bad because I'm staunchly burning all of my R. Kelly CDs as in solidarity to these women.
Right.
And that doesn't make me less of a Black woman and less empathetic to what they went through because of it either. And I think that's where a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and that's fine because we're humans and we have different standpoints. But I just think we let a lot of shit slide. And until there is, again, some shit where we kind of stand 10 toes down and we actually boycotting and we... You know, we arranging those carpools because we not trying to get on the bus and we see a larger purpose. Like, until I see that, okay, you gonna not talk to me anymore because I'm not skipping the Ignition remix?
No, I'm not talking to you anymore.
It's her
last podcast.
I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to buy tickets.
Yeah.
But I'm not putting energy into shouting out my rejection of them either.
Yeah.
But that's I think that's an emotional response that we have in society today. I mean, I've always argued that we critique these Black artists, or we critique people, or any person that's in entertainment, we critique them. But we wear and drive conflict things all the time, right? We have diamonds, the biggest diamonds on your finger, or it's around your neck. Yeah, it could be conflict, but you know, it's not atrocity because it looks good, right? BMW, very rooted during the World War I, World War II, Germany, you know what I mean, design. We drive German vehicles today. You know, so there is a selectiveness of what we pick and choose, what we don't like. Let me be very clear. I think that in America, as it rightly should be, that we have an issue with young people being exploited and being harmed. And so that is a very special thing to us. And I think that, not to us, I think it should be across the globe, but maybe within the American context is very close to us, right? We have to be honest about there being a separation sometimes between artistry and what the real life is, right? And I think that being able to consume things, I mean, we learned about, there's a lot of things we were consuming with Nickelodeon not too long ago.
Yeah.
We had not R. Kelly, Jesus Christ, I don't know if he was there, but we definitely had Ice Cube talking some and we be clubbing on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, the
you know what I mean?
Nickelodeon
So
show.
like that.
That's
Hilarious.
funny.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
so I think to a degree we have to understand like what's not going back to, what's media, what's not, but just kind of understanding like sometimes there's a separation between real life and what people do. I mean, they talk about in hip hop, niggas is fake all the time. They put on this persona when they get in front of the microphone or when they're in the booth or in front of the camera, but outside of that, they niggas stink. You know what I mean? Like they teeth not straight. All those type of conversations
Teeth not
happen.
straight, though.
And I think to a degree we have to stop taking things so
I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry. Yeah. I think, like, I hear Nargis' argument, and I hear what you have to say too, Smooth. And I think, like I said, for me, it's more personal, like 100% personal. Like that, like I'm personally triggered by anything having to do with children, and it just like I have enough nuance to know that we can separate artistry from an actual horrible person, because I think that there's greatness in both the Cosby Show and in a different world. Like there's greatness in elements of art. So there are things like I'll still champion people to look at the different words of different things. So there's even within this conversation there is nuance, and not to say that we all don't have an element of bias in the things that we just inherently like. You understand what I'm saying? Because we live in the world, so we could have a fundamental problem, honestly, with everything, in all truth and honesty. But for me personally, when it comes to art, like it's so awe-striking for me, just because I can't fathom, like I said, the kid aspect, and then like, and even part of what you said, Narg, is like maybe I am overtly mad at myself for not, but even with that, aside from not listening to his music, what could I have done about that? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that it depends on how. So I know I'm a hypocrite with this. Smooth, you mentioned something earlier. You said you weren't gonna go there, but I'll go there, right? Like I used to listen to a lot of rappers talk about killing motherfuckers on a regular basis. Like that was like I honestly, a lot of us came up in the era of hip hop where it was like, what they called gangster rap, and it was like legit, like like one of my favorite albums, Bone Thugs album, pretty much the whole album, save for like 3 songs that are about smoking weed, are literally about just running mamas down. That's it. Running, killing people. Down 71, Getaway, all this stuff. Gunshots. One of my favorite songs, Thug Love. Gunshots in the
Wonderful
beat
song.
and all that. Talking about
I love that Pac.
Yeah.
That's with Pac, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with Pac.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so there is a lot of hypocrisy to it. And I love Michael Jackson. And obviously there's clear hypocrisy with that, though not found guilty of anything, but still, people can make their assumptions or whatever. So absolutely,
I don't think Michael
hypocritical.
Jackson was sexually attracted to kids.
See, so we could do that, right? So that's what I'm saying, right? Like he
wasn't convicted.
He wasn't, but
Tyson
it just
was.
depends. Tyson was.
Yeah, and he served his time, Nargis.
Mystical.
He also denies it. There was we'll talk about it anyway. I don't want to get too far tracked because there is definitely hypocrisy. Chris Brown was mentioned earlier. I do not like Chris Brown. I don't listen to Chris Brown. Every time I see people posing Chris Brown and all this stuff, it trips me out. And I know it's just because it's just like I think it's too far to say it's a personal thing, because I don't know that man at all. But it's just something about that one and the R. Kelly one that just I can't get past. And I'm not going to jump on a moral high ground, which is what I think a lot of us are talking about, right? People jumping on like this morality, like, like I'm better than you because I don't do this thing, or I don't eat that thing, or I don't do, I don't buy this product, or I boycotted this, or I canceled this person. And that is a problem. And I agree with that. And I think that's a lot of reasons why we in the political mess we in now, because we took it too far. Frankly, we took it too far, and we allowed the other side to be able to say, see, y'all a bunch of blah, 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 and all y'all do is cancel people, da, 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 and we don't have a ground to stand on. When I say we, I'm talking about people that lean left, because a lot of people on the left were morally, they just had this morality. They were morality police, right? So I'm not going to say I don't listen to certain music because I'm morally better or I have a higher moral standard than anybody else. It's just something about those two artists that I just can't get past. I just can't get past it, and it's very personal. And one last thing I'll say, and Argus mentioned this earlier, we're kind of like robbing. I think, and correct me, I might be, I might misquote you. Basically, you kind of alluding to like where we might be robbing ourselves of like moments. Is that what you said? Or at least that's how I interpret it. So maybe that's not what you said, but I know I'm robbing myself of moments with R. Kelly. Okay, there's some moments of R. Kelly music in my life. Okay, that make certain songs favorite songs for me that I won't listen to anymore. And sometimes I do sit back and go, but man, is it really that serious? Like when I'm sitting at home by myself, like who the hell is gonna know that I listen to, TP1000? Paul's gonna know, and Paul's gonna call me and judge me, and that's what I'm worried about. No, I'm joking.
Yep,
so
that's
no,
exactly
I just
what's
think
gonna
that,
happen.
no, but no, seriously, that's what I think. That's why I think it kind of comes down to, and that's why this is such an interesting question, because for every person that doesn't listen to Chris Brown or R. Kelly or whoever you may deem to be a bad person, you listen to 10, 12 other people who are shitty people, and you buy and wear products and consume things that are made by people that are, that are, that's hilarious, by the way. LT, I'll come to you next. That are, that are problematic. T, what's up, bro?
But just to speak on the Kellys, I will say
Kelly.
like I call them the Kellys. So it's like Smooth has a point. It's like when we were in high school, we loved Ignition. Then he came out with the remix like a couple weeks later, and we was like, whoa! We didn't think it could get any better, right? He came out with Step in the Name of Love. He came out with so many. He came out with I Believe I Can Fly. This is the same dude that came out with the Space Jam Jam. You know what I'm saying? Like he has hits after hits. But it speaks to our maturity, because during that time we were all still joking around, following the the Dave Chappelle skits and everything, like, oh, he peed on that girl, or whatever he did. And we were all laughing. But as we got older, like you said, this documentary came out, because I remember seeing it for the first time and going like, damn, this nigga was literally like kidnapping young women, like young impressionable women, and keeping them in the house. Had people like pretty much preventing them from being able to go out, things like that. And I'm like, damn, like this dude is really, that's a fucked up individual right there. You go through his lifetime and you see, like, they talk about it. He's been this way since when he was like 13 or something, or just became a teenager. Like even his brother was sitting there like, yeah, he saw it. We thought that was just robbing. That was just robbing. And it was
he said he was down at the high school.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't judge anybody for listening to what you want to listen to. Like, I got so many friends that post stuff about going to Chris Brown's concert, and to me, it's like I know Chris Brown did some dirty stuff, but that's not why I don't listen to his music. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm hating on
the same.
But exactly. But with R. Kelly in particular, he was somebody that I was like, again, you came out with such great hits. You came out with a bunch of songs that I grew up with, and you killed it. Like we were listening to your shit. You know what I'm saying? And then instead of learning his lesson from the shit that happened back in the 2000s with the girl in the sex tape, he went a step further. So to me, he learned absolutely nothing in his lifetime. And that to me says that this person is a fucked up individual. Okay, I'm not listening to his music anymore. I mean, do I miss the Ignition remix? Hell yeah. Do I miss I'm gonna say this. The song I miss in particular is is the "Feeling on Your Booty" song. I don't know why. I just missed.
It's a great song.
It's a great
I
song,
just missed
dog.
the last
It's a
part.
great
I
song.
Look,
when he was like booty, I was like, that's the part
Yeah.
I missed the most.
Yeah.
And then
Great song.
you know, Trapped in the Closet. Like that was a good
the
opera.
snake joint with Lil Kim in the video.
He was
Hey.
killing it. But long story short, I was saying that I was recently at an event and they played Step in the Name of Love, and the people around me started actually going like, we not playing, we don't play that. Like, people are literally, there's a group of people, there's a bunch of people who are literally as disgusted as me, Paul, and Adam are,
Mhm.
that, you know, they're hearing it out and about and they're just like, oh, nah, I'm not gonna step to this. I step to
Right.
the Name of Love, I will not. So, but that I just wanted to put that out there, that is a real thing. I've seen it out in the wild. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Bears are not listening to R. Kelly.
Mhm.
It's definitely a real thing, and it's okay, by the way. Like, I think that as much as we can say, you know, oh, we shouldn't be feeling this way. We music is an emotional thing. You can't really tell anybody how to react to art, and everyone is a hypocrite. Smooth, I'm gonna jump right to you, but I just want to say something really quick because T-Mate was making a great point about, like, you know, I don't like Chris Brown music, so it's real easy for me to get rid of Chris Brown music. I don't care for his music at all, right? Yeah, I go bring it up. You know, Paul gonna laugh at me. I'm bringing it battle real quick. There was a moment in that thing where Mar, you know, everybody know I love Kendrick Lamar. He was, Drake threw out an accusation about domestic violence, and it hadn't been, proven yet or unproved, right? And I remember in the moment, I remember thinking like, damn, if that man actually beat his wife, am I going to rock with Kendrick Lamar? And it's going to be very difficult for me because that's somebody I rock with. Like, that's, quite literally one of my favorite artists. So I think it comes down to like whether you like the music. And that's why I think the R. Kelly one comes up so much, because people kind of universally love his music, whether you like his music directly or you like music that he wrote. For half the music you listen to in the 90s was either written by Missy Elliott or R. Kelly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's so difficult to get rid of him. And so I think that's why this one comes up so much, right? Like, as opposed to other artists who you can go, all right, well, I don't like this artist, so it's real easy for me to just like, whatever, I don't rock with it. R. Kelly is like, you're making like an active choice to not listen. For most people, you're making an active choice to not listen to music you probably really like. And I think that's why people stand tall on that one. Go ahead, Smooth.
I just think it's unfortunate that R. Kelly happened, his situation, not unfortunate. In terms of his artistry, it's unfortunate. Him as the man doing what he did, he's in jail for it.
Yeah.
That's what that is. What I mean by unfortunate is his legacy is unfortunately tarnished because of a movement of recent times. There's so many artists, even black artists, that we know of their stories that we still rock with all day, every day. I'm talking about like old. I'm talking about like legacy acts. It's like, all right, if we really start checking off and crossing off of everyone's personal lives and what they did, what are we going to be listening to?
Yeah, no,
Elvis, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm not excusing anyone's behavior. No one's behavior should be excused. I do think, though, we have to be a little less attached to this thing we see on our screens all the time and worry about our own like spaces. Like, people make the argument all the time, oh, listen to rap music doesn't make people go out and kill people. So what is the argument against listening to something that no one else was listening to? Right? Is it going to make me go and do something? Is it going to make me be like, oh man, I'm empowered to do this? I mean, like, nigga, I'm not Aaron Hall. Like, what we talking about?
I'm just repulsed by cuz, for me personally, I'm just repulsed by it. I don't even think of it on the level of whether it's going to cause me to do anything or cause any other person to do anything. I don't fuck with it, and that's just simply. I'm sorry, Nargis, go for your hand was raised. I apologize.
You know what I'm You wanna know what I'm repulsed by? You know what I'm repulsed by? That damn.
I'm waiting.
Shut
Say
up, bro.
Luther. No, if he say
No,
Luther.
Marcus, go for it, please.
I wanted to. I think Paul brought up a good point with the Cosby conversation. If we go creep for creep comparison, even though it's two different.
Yeah, right.
No,
Hey,
for
creep.
real. If we talk
Hey,
about,
creep for creep is
if we're
wonderful, yeah.
talking,
Creep.
no, but think about it, like we're talking about a legacy of nefarious behavior
Right.
pre-fame
Right.
that involved degrees of like collusion and luring and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just have a musician, artist, and then we have like an actor, comedian.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are more forgiving of Cosby's products of the Cosby Show in a different world because they have other faces associated with it, right? The shows have the luxury of
That's fair.
Malcolm Jamal Warner, Kadeem Hardison,
Yeah.
Jasmine, Felicia Rashad, right? So
right.
we can, you
Bonet,
know,
yeah.
we don't know the producers and but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we don't want to punish Kadeem Hardison and Lisa Bonet and all of them for something because they were able to get success in spite of this dastardly, devious behavior happening around them, right?
Yeah.
You know, we're not listening to Aaliyah songs because
Right.
of how she was being manipulated by
Yeah.
him.
Sparkle.
You know, we don't know.
I mean, it's a bunch of people.
It's a bunch of people, but like, you know, we're not the other hands and artists and creatives who are suffering as a result of us boycotting and canceling him ultimately are not faces and names that we know and see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's like they're not getting whatever their royalties or their residuals for playing guitar, playing the drum, putting a da-da-da. You know, and I know R. Kelly is a musician as well. So again, I don't know the credits, but I just know it wasn't all a one-man band. Yeah. So I think that if we're able to give the grace in that vein, then grace should be given. I understand what we're not saying that everyone knows, but we're not saying is that R. Kelly is very much known for sex songs.
Right.
So that makes it creepier. You know, Cosby wasn't this sex symbol.
Right.
So there's not sexuality and sensuality associated with his brand the way that R. Kelly's was. So that adds an extra degree of like slime to I'm not trying to have sex to one of his nasty rapey songs.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I get that. Right? Understandably so.
Yeah.
But again, this man had a chokehold on graduations, on step on church, on promotions, like
Cookout.
you know, he did have another lane as well. And I know that might be a taller ask to boycott this part and not that part, and it's easier just to be like, well, I'm done with R. Kelly overall. But some of them songs brought tears to your eyes because of like how it motivated you, right?
Yeah, he's talented.
And I know, Paul, I get it. You're just like, that nigga's a creep. I'm done.
I get it, but
but I'm just saying, niggas real good at like just. I'm gonna use a big word, and I'm not trying to use a big word. It's the first thing that popped in my mind, but just like circumlocution, like weed. Circumlocution. Like
look it
we'll
up.
talk
LT.
around some shit.
Define that.
We'll talk around some shit. We'll talk around some shit real easy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's that's what I'm saying. Like until we agree upon this SOP of cancellation, there's so much gray in what is and is not allowed and permitted, because I don't see how you can justify Cosby products
Right.
and not
That's
justify R. Kelly products aside from the fact that R. Kelly is the one who's saying the words of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Cosby's still getting money, even though he wasn't the one acting on those shows.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he's still benefiting.
Can I say two quick things, LT, before you jump in? Just two really quick ones. I still won't listen to him, but I think you make excellent point.
I wasn't trying to.
No,
change the rules of your home.
No, right. Yeah, just and but this isn't like one got to go. We're trying to like win it. We just talking. But you made a good point, because I think about two movies. I'll make it real quick to you, and you jump right in there. I think about the movie Rust with Alec Baldwin, and I think about the Magazine Dreams film with what's your boy name?
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors. Thank you. Right. I'm not sure if y'all know what happened on the film Rust, but there was a accidental killing on the film where Alec Baldwin had a gun that went off, right? And it shouldn't have had a bullet in it, and it killed it killed not the armsman.
One of the sisters.
Nah, she was one of the producers.
One of the assistant producers.
She was a producer.
Thank you. And so we all know what happened with Jonathan Majors, and we know his movie Magazine Dreams was delayed, and it ended up being bought by like the Ratchet TV people and all that, right? But long story short, why I'm bringing it up is because there was a movement within the industry for both films when they were like, look, I know that Alec Baldwin, I know that a lot of people are not happy with Alec Baldwin right now, but like, I'm the PA on this movie. Like, I'm the writer of this movie. I'm the producer. This is what Alec Baldwin didn't write this movie. He just happens to be the actor that's in this movie, and he's the face of it. What about us? And a lot of people with Magazine Dreams were saying that too. So it's just something I hadn't thought about. It doesn't change me, but it's something I hadn't thought about. And I had brought that up, T, in the sense of, I like to joke with people when they're like, oh, I don't listen to this anymore, like it's specifically R. Kelly. And I'd be like, yeah, but you still listen to that Change of Faces song. You still listen to that Avant song. You still listen to Signs of Love Making by Tyrese. You still listen. Like, I like to joke with people about that because that goes to that point. But it's still an emotional thing. T, go for it, brother. I know you got two things you want to say.
Okay. Before I say what I want to say, circumlocution, the use of many words where fewer would do, especially in a deliberate attempt to be vague or evasive.
That's
Thank
real.
you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You read that very well.
Thank you.
But
you read it very well.
Thank you. The Ebonics is paying off. Hooked on phonics, Ebonics. So we're talking about a bunch of like people that like there's other people besides R. Kelly, right? You know, we mentioned Diddy. I haven't liked Diddy since since the band.
Never liked him.
making the band. Like I just have not liked that dude. You know what I'm saying? I knew he was arrogant from the longest. So when this shit came out, I kind of was like, I hated Diddy before it was cool. And then, like, again, with Chris Brown, it was just more so a thing of like, yes, he did this terrible thing, but also, like Adam said, I just don't, I didn't rock with his music like that. You know what I'm saying? And then, who else? Oh my God, it was in my head, and now that shit immediately left. I know you're talking about Rick James. That's one where, yes, like we found out that dude was, and I want to say this, cocaine is a hell of a drug. My man was, but I'll say that that's one of the people that I would say is, I'm hypocritical about, you know what I'm saying? Like, I won't listen to R. Kelly, but I will listen to some Rick James, Fire and Ice, Ebony Eyes, like it's so much, but I agree. Like I said, I'm not going to condemn you for listening to the Kellys. You know what I'm saying? Smooth, Nargis, listen to them all you want. Nargis, I know you ain't like speaking them out, but if he pops up on the radio, if he pops up on the Spotify, you going?
Hey, why you singling her? Why I gotta be? I'm not singling this nigga out.
I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna get to you. Smooth. The fact that you bought several R. Kelly albums in the last week.
Jail joke.
But speaking of that, remember when R. Kelly was being was in the courts for the sex tape, and I remember this vividly because it was on the news. When that group, there was a church group, and there's this one preacher who bought a bunch of the chocolate, the
Chocolate, factory, what's it called? Yeah.
chocolate factory albums, and then proceeded to burn them. But everyone was like, "But you bought it."
You bought
Like he
money
bought
in
like
pocket.
I think he went to the store and bought like all of the chocolate factory albums.
Yeah.
But then
So put money in that man pocket.
he put money in the pocket. So just all that to say that, even with the best intentions,
Sometimes you gotta sacrifice a couple dollars.
There you go.
I don't know.
You're right. I don't know. All right.
I don't know.
All right, that was a good one, y'all. Let's get ready to wrap this up. Listen, there will be a poll. We're going to put a poll up on our social media. We want to know what you all think. Are you still listening to R. Kelly? Are you still listening to artists that are considered to be problematic? Yeah, Paul's a great man. He's a decent man.
Don't forget to put Kanye on there.
Yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, we'll put up a couple artists and we want to see what you all think.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, and let us know what you think. All right.
So listen, no, I was gonna say that, with Assata, with her passing, like, nigga, our old people are dying, and that shit's scary. Like, our libraries are burning down, nigga. Like, it ain't like when we heard that James Brown died when we were about maybe like 16, 15, 17. It's like, nigga, we are in our late 30s, early 40s, and the people we saw in our lives, the historic people, like, they're dying, and it's like, fam, that shit's scary, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to be on some, like, morbid shit like we're next, but it's kind of like, where are we at as a people? Where are we at as like, we talk about all these historic people, but, and I know it's been a joke with the Boondocks of, like, Dr. King coming back like, you niggas is crazy and all type of shit, but it's like, where are we now versus where our ancestors really were, like, going through, like, the arguments, the fights that they had to choose, just the idea of the things that they had to go through. Like, nigga, we are not in 1962. Us black people today do not understand what none of that shit was like. And all we have is, like, pictures and clips and half-baked ideologies, and it's just scary because, like, at one time shit was solid. Like, Black Americans have a lot of decades of history, but specifically for modern day, there's individuals within 3 decades that did so much for the modern day Black American, and niggas have no idea. And they're dying every day.
That's
from
why we gotta
music
keep
and
telling that
entertainment.
story.
You know what I mean? Like yeah, but then it turns to folklore, right? It turns into a Nancy the spider, in West Africa, about telling stories and tricking people. Like, that's what
But
turns into.
that's one of the most powerful forms of preservation is the oral history, though.
But not
Because when you tell the folklore, there's a lesson in it, right? Like, you tell it for some type of character building.
I agree, but we're too close. We're too close to these people. Like, Assata just passed.
Mm-hmm.
She passed within our
somebody's
lifetime.
always just passing.
Yeah,
somebody's always just
No,
passing.
I know.
There was somebody that was like, damn, I'm not trying to be funny right now, but there's somebody that was like, damn,
No, I know.
Frederick Douglass just died. What are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody was like, damn, they just killed Martin Luther King. They just killed Medgar Evers. They just killed this person. Damn, they killing people.
But
So
I agree.
So I just think that, because I think that is just important to keep our chin up, and we can be sad about these things. So that's why I think, we all want to give you space to say what you had to say, because it's important, and it is sad. It is sad. And it's not just, and I don't want to get this, I don't get too deep on it. So I'm going to slow down a bit, but it's sad. And I think that, I think about that something Obama said, funny enough, is we are the people we've been waiting for. And so we're the griots now. Like, that's us. You know what I mean? And we're the people here to tell the stories. We're here to people, and not only just tell stories, but create history. And there will be, we got kids on this thing, and we all look at our kids' eyes and go, okay, what am I going to put into you? What am I going to feed you? And then what are you going to feed to the world? Like, I think about that all the time when I look at my kids. I wonder, like, it's such a wild thing to think about. What's the world going to look like when you're my age? And then what are y'all going to be putting into the world?
And what safe information source can I send you to?
Right. And and so it's just our job. And this black as black can be, by the way. Nargis mentioned it. You mentioned Anansi the Spider-Web. It's black as black can be, to tell our stories and have the verbal history of ourselves. And even when those people want to wipe our history out of the classroom and out of American history,
we still have it.
Because we still possess it. So we know about Assata. There were people, their podcasts that did not talk about. I'm not trying to toot our own horn, but I will. Their podcast that wouldn't talk about Assata. They wouldn't. They wouldn't talk about her. They don't know shit about her and won't talk about her. We will, because we understand that it's important to talk about her just as much as it's important to talk about Barack Obama or Kamala Harris or whoever else is in the world right now. So that I think, not necessarily her looking at the MSR podcast and smiling, but just looking at us as a people who are trying to continue her legacy in the smallest and in the largest ways. She smiles. I've never met her a day in my life, and I can tell you she's smiling at that. She has to.
And our ancestors' wildest dreams.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it is really important to not learn the big histories, but learn the small histories too. So, ask the oldest person in your bloodline.
Let's go.
What life was like.
And that's
my point. That's my point.
Go ahead.
That's my point. Is that
let's jump in and then you go.
I think I want to say that, one thing I can say is that at least these legends, our ancestors are dying of old age. She didn't, they're dying of old age. They're not dying because they were assassinated or lynched or anything like some of our previous ancestors.
Or died in prison.
Died in prison, or they died without being able to tell their story because someone cut their life short or someone silenced them. These are people that, died of old age and have probably passed on their story to many different people. And we just got to wait to see how that story is going to be spread. I mean, she has her autobiography, but it's like, like there's probably some other people out there telling like her side of the story over the last couple years, in Cuba. Like there's probably some young Cuban children that she probably talked to, or somebody that's going to be spreading her message across Cuba,
even from their perspective in Cuba.
Here. So I understand what you're saying, Smooth, but it's like I'd much rather them be passing because of old age versus the latter.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Man, that was a really good show. Shouts out to everybody's perspective on all the things we talked about. It was so incredibly dope. Remember, follow us and subscribe to the channel. Like and subscribe to the channel is so important. Like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get that subscriber number up so you all could be part of that. Join the tribe, all right? Like and subscribe to the channel. And if you listen to us only on podcasts, we love that too. Just remember to rate and review the podcast, and remember to subscribe to your favorite subscribe to us on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Also join our Patreon. More content coming on Patreon real soon. Follow us, MSR Tribe, on all social media platforms. MSR Tribe, except for TikTok, it's the MSR Pod. Lots of content every single day going up on our social media platforms. And shouts out to everybody that's really engaged with our social media platforms. We love you.
Yeah.
All right.
Appreciate
Nargis, thank you. It's always great to have you on the show.
Always.
you.
You're
Okay.
amazing.
We're working on your
Appreciate you.
hologram.
Yeah, we're gonna get that hologram going. We're gonna get that thing. We working on it. We got the technology. We got the
Blasphemous.
skill.
We
And
handle
we'll
that
get you
stuff.
the residuals on the back end as well.
Right.
For your,
Yeah,
for your
we'll
image.
figure, we'll figure out how to
Your
pay
NIL.
yeah,
Oh my
right.
gosh.
Well,
Yeah, a
the
Bitcoin or
royalties
something. We'll
for
figure it
the
out.
artists.
Bitcoin.
Oh my gosh.
LT,
Right.
thank you, sir. Keep the show rolling. We appreciate you, brother. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Courage to
Brother
comedy.
Smooth. There you go. Brother Smooth, thank you so much. All right. Until
Yes, sir.
next
Thank
time, ladies and gentlemen, Free DC. I'm Adam Butler. That's Paul Spann.
Black Man Sman.
Be great.
Elevate us.
Up out of here. Peace.
you. Yes, sir.